Hello everybody, so welcome to this module. We are going to be I'm going to be taking you through some Python basics, and it's for you to be familiar with them because I also tried as much as possible to go straight to the point, because what we are going to be treating now, there are things that are going to be relevant to you even as we go through the task and the main data science projects that we have for the recommender systems and all. So let's jump right in. So as we know, the first thing to do, we go to our command prompt. We want to launch our Jupyter notebook. As we said, that will be our practice notebook. So we're going to say press Windows key plus arrow. That's our CMD. Just press enter normally. CD to your desktop. Then CD to your data science directory. I'm there now. So right in your data science directory, I want to launch my Jupyter notebook. So I'll say Jupyter notebook, enter. You are going to see this. Alright? This simply means your Jupyter notebook is going to run on your browser on a local host. Alright. So I just added these other notebooks. But the one I want you, and we are going to be going through all these ones, but the one I want you to get now to this folder is this Python 101. Is this Python 101? And we are going to be creating a new Jupyter, a new notebook for our practice. But I just want to get this Python 101, and to get it is very easy. Just go to your desktop, look for data science, go to your full kit, alright? Your data science 01, master, machine learning master, data science Python 3. Copy this Python 101, right click, then copy. This is my data science folder for this class. Open yours, Ctrl V. So you have it here now. Alright? So let's go back. We can see Python 101 here now. Okay. So let's open and create a new, or let's open this. Okay. So I'm going to be taking you through the lists, for loop, lists again, tuples, functions, Boolean expressions, loopings, and other activities. So once you know these basic things, you are okay. Because for learning any language, most importantly, you need to go through the documentation for that language. Oh, I'm not connected to the internet now. So you just need to go know the documentation. Go to python.org. Then right there, look for the documentation, then study on different functions, on different syntax and all of that. So starting with our list, okay, I want us to go to our home page again. Let's create a new file. Go to new, click on Python 3. Alright, so you are here now. Remember to run, this is your coding block. Alright, and to add more blocks, you just need to use this is a cell. To add more cell, just come to this place, insert cell below, enter. You can make as many as you want. Alright, then when you want to run a code, you just say shift enter. That's how you run whatsoever you put in a cell. Then come to your file, just be familiar with the environment. You can make a copy of a cell, you can save your work. Now we opened this new Python 3 file, Jupyter Notebook. Let us rename this. Let's call it Python Basics or My Python Basics. Rename, so you can see it now. We've renamed it IPython Notebook. Alright, then you can see other things. You can download this, your Jupyter Notebook. You can make a cheat sheet with this, practice and do all of that, then come here and convert it to whatsoever format you want. You can see that you can convert it to HTML. You can convert to PDF, to normal Python file, meaning you can practice with this and convert to a normal .py file. Alright, a normal Python file. Then you can create a new Jupyter Notebook from here. You can go on and on, merging cells together. You can insert cells above or below. Alright, if you are here now, you can insert a cell above and a new one will come above. If you are here now, you can insert a new cell below and a new one will come below. Right, then you can run here, or you say shift enter, or you can run here, or you can stop here, or in the course of running your code, this is your kernel, for instance, you can restart, you can clear your outputs. Alright, you can restart and run again. You can shut down the kernel. For instance, if you do something like this, let's say something like this, for instance, this doesn't exist, I know, and you say shift enter, you see it's going to count, it's going to start counting. Let's say you adjust again, it's now 2. It's going to keep on counting to get to 4. Depending on your mistakes, your errors, it's going to keep on counting, and the kernel is going to get full. So what you do, you can come to your kernel and you can restart and clear outputs. You can now see it's now new, so you can say shift enter, it's now 1 again. All right, or you can say restart and run all. Okay, then you restart and you run all cells. Okay, all right, so let's start with our work. Now I want to show you something very basic. I want to introduce you to the for loop. Okay, so we're going to say for loop in a list. Or let's just call it for loop. Then come to this part, your Jupyter notebook. Just click on Markdown. Alright, or you can say for loop, that if you want to make one of the cells a heading. Alright, so let's create a variable, for instance x. Alright, and normally when you are making a list, when you want to make a list of items, you enclose them with a square bracket. Alright, a list of items, you enclose them in a square bracket. You see that? And let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Alright, this is a list item, and we've stored this list item in this variable x. Alright, this is a temporary storage memory. Now we've done that. Okay, let's give it a name. Let's call it even number. Alright, we stored it in even numbers. Then what for loop does is that, first of all, it's a loop. It's going to loop over every element here. The for loop is going to loop over 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. You see that? That's what the for loop does. It's a loop. So the way we use for loop in Python, we say for x in even numbers, colon. That's what we do. When you are using the for loop, you end it with colon. Now, why x? Why can it not be y? Why can it not be a? Why can it not be v? Why can it not be u? We can use any one we want. This variable just means this variable represents every element here. This is our general looping element. This variable represents every element that our for loop that our for is going to be looping over. Alright, so when we say for x in even numbers, we are saying for all the elements, for each of the elements in even numbers. That's what we are saying. So for x in even numbers means for each of the elements in even numbers. Alright, then you terminate that with a colon, press enter. Normally you don't start from here when using a for loop. You make sure you indent your work, and to indent your work you use the tab key on your system, tab. Alright, then you can start from here normally. That is if you are using a text editor without this functionality, just use a tab key. Alright, but normally when using a for loop, after putting a colon, your enter should get you to should indent your work. Alright, so for x in even numbers, print, then bracket, print x. Alright, what this is going to do now, indenting our work, it simply means this print statement is still under our for loop. Alright, because we have the loop. This is our statement here, our statement block for the for loop. Okay, then you say print x. Now let's run this code. Shift enter. You see that now 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 to 20. So this x simply means all these individual elements in our list. Okay, in our list. So then let's say let's give it another one. Odd numbers equal to, this is our variable now. Odd numbers equal to, let's store it let's use a list 2, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, then we want to say for y in odd numbers colon. Okay, print y. Let's try this. You see that if you just say print y, it's not going to run, so you have to make sure you enclose it with a bracket. Alright, you must enclose it in a bracket. Okay, let's try this too. Let's try using this. Shift. Okay, in a quotation mark, it still didn't work. So you see that we must, in a print statement, use the bracket. Okay, so shift enter, then you can see this. So even if we put D here, okay, make this D, shift enter, it's still going to give us the same thing. So this is just the element in the list, okay, for each of the unique numbers. So that is for our for loop. Then let's now say, okay, for our list now, we want to, let's work with our list. Now come here, make this heading, then come here now. Let's say odd numbers. Okay, we want to print something, and what we want to print for our list now, there's a way we handle list. For lists, you can easily mutate elements inside of them. Now look at something now. You can see that this is a list, okay, and the elements in this list, they are all stored in this variable. This is a variable, all right. It's a variable in Python, and the way we write variables in Python, either you use a single letter, but the proper way of writing it, you have to start with a small letter. Then if you are joining two characters, two words, then you can start with a capital letter, all right. But you just have to start with a small letter. This is the common way and a way of writing these things. Now we store this list in this odd number variable, and now we want to select a number. We want to specify numbers, and we are going to, if for instance now we want to print only this number, or only this element, or only this element, then this first element, second element, third, fourth, fifth, we are going to say, to pick out that number, you say odd numbers, right? Get the variable name odd numbers, then open your square bracket. This time for your square bracket, it means you want to get hold of something inside this odd number variable. So this square bracket, and you can say :3, shift enter. You can see that now for odd numbers you see 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. What does this mean? This simply means this colon in front of the 3 simply means the first three elements in the variable odd numbers. The first 3 elements in the variable odd numbers. This colon simply means from the beginning till the very third element. Print it out for me. So we are selecting from the beginning to the third element, right? If we say 4, we're going to print out the first 4 elements. If you want to print out the first 5 elements, you're going to print out the first 5 elements. You know, when we start doing colons and all of that, we are going to be using this a lot. Alright, this is the first 5. Let's just stay with our 3 now. Okay, first 3 elements. Now let's do something again. Now let's say 3, then colon. What does this mean now? It simply means print out all the numbers after the third element. Alright, this one means give me all the numbers from the beginning till the very third element. But for this one, this colon is now after the number. So we are saying just give me all the numbers after the third element. So we are selecting all the numbers after the third element, and that's what 7 and 9. And when we say this expression does not include the very third element. It just gives us all the elements after the third. Now let's come here now. Let's get all the elements after the second element. Shift enter. You can see this, it gave me everything after the second. That is what? This is the first, second, right? Now everything after the second element is 5, 7, 9, and that's what happened here. Okay, now let's do something now. let's say minus 3 minus 3 colon. What does this mean? Let's say shift enter. 5 7 9. Five, 7, 9. This expression is straightforward. It simply means give me the last 3 elements. The last 3 elements. Give me the last 3 elements. Alright? This simply means give me all the elements after the second element. Then this simply means give me the last 3 elements, and that's what happened here, right? Let's check it again for, let's say, minus 4. Let's print it and see what we are going to have. You see that now? The last 4 elements. So you take note of these two. Okay, let's try this now. Minus 3. So when the colon is in front of the negative, what we are saying is give me, now look at it here now. This time the negative, the colon is in front of the negative, alright, and it gave us 1 and 3. 1 and 3 gave us the first two. What this simply means is give us the elements before the third element. Give us all the elements before the third element. That's what happened there. Alright, all the elements before the third element, give it to us. Okay, now we have to be more specific there. Let's try another example. Minus 2, shift enter. 1 3 5. Do you see that now? 1 3 5. So you can now see that it's actually counting from back. The negative this time is now, this is where it's counting from. This is now our first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So when we say the colon is in front and minus 2, we are saying give us all the elements before the second element from the back. Alright? Give us all the elements before the second element from the back. Do you see that? So just play around these and get used to them. Alright? Play around these and get used to them. Then something again to do. Let's print out numbers again, odd numbers. This is everything. We can still say, instead we can say odd numbers. Alright, we're going to have the same thing. Now for this, we want to just pick out only this first element. So what are we going to say? We say odd numbers. Alright, when we say odd numbers and we put a 0 there, we put a 1, we put a 2, put a 3, it's very different. Now normally when we are counting in a list, alright, or in an array of numbers, the first one is your index. The first one is your index, and it starts counting from 0. Okay, so this 0, this 1, this 2, this 3, this 4. So odd numbers in the square bracket, let's put in a 0 there. I will say shift enter. So when we put in a 0 there, it gave us 1. Now let's do that again. Let's put in 3 now. Shift enter. It gave us number 7. So the third, so our index tree is 7, and we see this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So when we say 3, it's actually the 4th element. When we say 0 is the first element, when we say 1 is the second, 2 is the third, 3 is the 4th element, and so on. Just know that when you want to pick the first value, the first element, you use 0. It starts counting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright? So now we have a list. Let's bring out our even numbers again. Shift enter. These are our even numbers. Let's say let's try to, and we have our odd numbers again. We have our odd numbers again, and we want to combine what we have here with what we have here. We want to combine this with this, or let's add some values to this. Maybe this 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Let's add 2 other odd numbers to these elements already. How are we going to do that? We can simply do that by extending. We can simply do that by extending. And for extending, you simply say odd numbers dot. If you want to add an array of numbers to the already existing array or the already existing list, this is an array, an array of numbers. You use the extend function. So the extend function, and you use the extend function and you end it with your bracket. So you want to extend this list. It means you want to add a list of numbers to the end, right? So you are going to say extend, open the square bracket, open your normal bracket, then put a square bracket inside of it. Then let's say 7, 9, 11, 13. Now we are going to add this into this. We are going to update. What this is going to happen, this extend function is going to extend this list, and is going to extend this our variable. This is our variable of having and containing our list, and it's going to update it as well. It's going to both extend the list and update as well. So shift enter. Let's print out odd numbers now. Print odd numbers, shift enter, and that was so there it is. So we are having 11, 13, 11, 13, 11, 13. The reason why it's like this is because we ran this code 3 times. So the more we run it, the more it continues to update this number, this our variable, this odd numbers variable. You can see from 24 it came to 27. It means it came to 27, right? So we continue running it, and we continue updating by 3. So that's what happens. So if you look at it again, let's update again. You can see that now it increased. Okay, let's update again. It will continue to update this number, but if we don't put this print statement, this is just going to update, but it's not going to print out it's not going to print it out. So we now use this print function to show what happened here. All right, so let's do something now. This is to extend, right, adding an array to the existing array. Now let us use the append function, odd numbers. I don't want you to be confused about this. We just updated this many times, that's why it continued to add up, right? So odd numbers, this time we're going to say append. Take note of this function, we're going to be using it a lot. So for this append, all right, it is, we can just say append 15, shift enter. Okay, now let us print it out. We can either use the print statement, or for Jupyter Notebook you can either use print statement or just write the variable like that, and it's going to bring it out. You can see 15, right? It brought out 15 for us, and the reason why it's 15 was because we ran it the first time, it updated it as 15. Then we put this variable here, we ran everything again, then it updated again and printed it out. That's why we have two 15s, right? So just take note of all those things. It's not meant to be 2, it's meant to be 1. It's just because we updated it 2 times. That's why we have two 15s. So you can see the append and you can see the extend. Take note of all these things. Then let's go on to functions. How we use functions. Alright, now we want to add another cell. Just come here, or come here, or just come here. Okay, we have added another cell, or then continue to add as many cells as you want downwards. Alright, so in dealing with functions, alright, whenever you want to write a function, alright, just as I said about function before, your function in Python is simply a block of code that executes a given function. Simply put, your function simply executes a given block of code. All right, your function is like a house housing different codes. So whenever you call upon that function, what you are saying is that it's time to execute all the codes inside that function. Alright, so that's in the simplest term. So whenever you want to write a function in Python, you start with def. Then this is how you start a function, def. Then the name of the function. The name of the function, we can say, let's say square. Alright, let's say square. Then after writing name of the function, you put your normal bracket, then put a variable inside, let's say x. Then you end it with your colon. Alright, so after that you go and press your enter key, then to take you to the next line indented for you. So the next thing you do, so you remember, you start with def, the name of the function. Now mind you, this is not a constant or unique name. You can put anything here to just define what you want. You can put anything here to just define what you want. You can name it the way you want. I could name it square, I could name square root, I could name square now. Alright, depending on what I want. The essence of this is that when I'm going to call this function, it's going to execute whatsoever is going to be under. So the name doesn't matter. You just have to name it with something that is sensible and that defines your block of code. So if we say def square now into bracket this x column, so we are going to now say return x times x. Alright, return x times x. So we've done that now. So this is the line of code under this function. So let's apply this now. Let's say it gets to a part of my code where I have to call upon that now, and I say now this variable x that's inside simply means when I'm going to call this, I'm not going to put x here again. I'm going to put the number that I want inside, so that number will the number that I put inside is what is going to be returned to me after the expression has been applied. So this return statement here is simply the formula. It's simply the expression, the real formula. Alright, this is just the function definition. This is the exact formula. So this x here is going to be applied here. Alright, such that if I put a tree here, the tree is going to this tree here, it's simply, if I put a tree here, when I'm going to call it later, I've called this function. So it's going to execute it by returning x times x. You understand? By that is 3 times 3. So let's apply that here. Let's say square now. Let's put 4. Alright, shift enter, it gave me 16. So the 4 here was applied here. 4 times 4, that's 16. So this is a simple function. Okay, it therefore means you can run a code, you can automate a task, okay, such that the result of that task will now be here. So once you put that value here, you've called on that function to apply, you've called on that function, and after applying the formula and everything, it's going to store your result in x. So let's say after calling upon this function and imputing 4, it gave us 16. Now it gave us 16 and it stored the answer 16 in this x variable. Let's now call on x. So shift enter is still 16. You see that now? So that is a simple function statement. That's a simple function statement. Now let's do something again. Dictionaries. And for dictionaries, let's call it heading. And for headings, let's say I'm going to explain how dictionaries. Alright, so dictionaries, a dictionary in Python is simply let me show you. A dictionary is simply a collection of items. Okay, it's simply a collection of items made up of keys and values. Okay, keys and values. Okay, dictionary in Python. Always make Google your companion. Okay, as a programmer, you need to make Google your companion. Alright, so it's an ordered collection of data values. Okay, used to store data values like a map. Okay, used to store data values like a map. So a dictionary is an associative array of keys, an associative arrays of keys, and each of those keys possess a value. Each of those keys, you can get the value of a key in a dictionary. So a dictionary simply houses items, each having a key and a value. Alright? So in a dictionary, you can say a dictionary is made up of keys, and each of the keys, you'll find a value in each of them. So if you call upon a key, you are going to get the value of that key. Okay? So let me show you how it works. You can say family equals to, you can say family equal to, let's open this. This is the type I'm opening, not a square, but this type, this is an array. Okay, it's an associative array. That's a dictionary. So let's say now I'm going to leave it empty. Then I'm going to say family. Now there's a way to update this array because it's empty. There's a way to update it without me putting in anything here. Now normally I'm meant to fill it with something, right? I'm meant to fill, and when you are filling it with something, put it in a quotation. Alright, you can always learn more about these things. So let's say family. Let me add Dayo. Okay, now let me come here and print family. Oh, it gave us an error. Okay, give us an error. Or let me come here and say something like, okay, so what we are going to do now, that didn't work. So what we're saying now is this is an associative array. Okay, then we can assign items to this array by giving it, because this is a dictionary now. This is a dictionary. The name of the dictionary is family, and the dictionary now is empty. But we want to fill this dictionary with items, and each of those items should possess a value. Alright, unique values each. So we're going to say, let's give it an item, Dayo, as a member of this family, right? Then Dayo should possess a value. Let's say tall. Alright, now this Dayo, and its value now is tall. So if we should enter this, it's going to give us, we are calling this dictionary now family, and it's giving us the name Dayo, and it's telling us this Dayo is tall. Alright, it's just like the way you go and you search for a word in a dictionary. You get the name, the word you are looking for, then you look in that word and you see meanings, right? You can say Dayo is a very tall boy. Alright, this is a value. Let's enter this. Do you see that now? We want to say Dayo, and this is a value. This is the information stored for Dayo. Alright, this is the information stored for Dayo. Now let's add another family member. This family, let's say Peace. And let's say Peace is very quiet in class. Enter. So it gave us for Dayo, this is the value. No, this is the key. This is the value of that key. This is the key. Now there's a comma here, and this is the value for that key. So this is how dictionaries work in Python programming language, and this is how it works. And we can go on and on and on that way. Can go on and on and on that way. We can update values for their respective keys. Alright, so just know this as a basic, because we are going to be applying all these later. Alright, just relate it to the normal dictionary that you know. It's going to be helpful. So that is in for dictionary. Alright, so I want to show you something here. Okay, then when you want to get a value, you want to get the value of a key, okay, you can either use the get function, or you simply use the square bracket. Let me show you. Now just click on this cell, then insert cell below, that is captain. Okay, then let's say enterprise. Shift enter. Oh sorry, captain is meant to be captains. Alright, that is the name of the dictionary. We are trying to say for captains dictionary, we want to know the value of this key. So let's run that again. Oh, the same error, right? Alright, so let's put it in a print statement. Same error. Alright, so we have Voyager and all. Let's run this. Okay. Said the name captain is not defined. Okay, maybe it was because we left this place already. Okay, let's try this. Let's try to run it here instead. Okay, it gave us our value now. Give us our value. So you can see that we could get the value of this key from here, or we could use the get function. Okay, now we can either say use this, or we can say captains.get. What are we getting? We want to get a value, right? Because we want to get the key out of there. So we're going to say enterprise. Shift enter. You can see now it gave us the value of this key. So we can either use this or use this, and it's going to give us the same thing. Either we get the value with the get function, or we just use the square bracket for that. Alright, so let's try to apply the loop. Let's try to apply loop for dictionaries. Let's say for X in family. We have two keys in this dictionary. For X in family colon, print. Now this is our statement now. Print. Now what this simply means for X in family, it simply means loop over all the keys in the dictionary, in this dictionary family. Let's try it. Shift enter. Dayo peace. You see that? Dayo peace. Now let's do something now. X then a colon. Okay, now this colon is going to give us an error. So let's try this now. X colon family X. See, this is an error already because it doesn't understand this colon. This colon is not doesn't understand this colon. So if we want to add something like this in a print statement, there's something known as concatenation. Alright, we concatenate. Simply put, you concatenate. So by concatenating, you are simply you are using the plus sign. Okay, plus again. Then you can now put that colon in a quotation mark, like shift colon. You see that in a print statement, you are just meant to put the variable for it to print. But whenever you want to mix a variable and a string in a print statement, you use this concatenation. Alright, so this plus, it's just like it's binding everything together. So it's going to say X colon. It's not going to run this. Okay, you're going to run this, you're going to run this, but it's not going to run this. So X colon family X. What we are simply saying is that loop over, give us everything for X. Alright, give me a value for X. That is, give me the X key and give me the X value. Alright, because whenever you ask for a family key like this, it gives you the value. So let's try running this. Shift enter. You can see Dayo colon. Dayo is a very tall boy. Peace is very quiet in class. Okay, so what happened is that this for loop, it loops over each of the elements in family individually. So it's going to say X, it's going to pick, it could be Y, it could be A, anything. So it's going to pick the first value, Dayo, and it's going to bring out this colon like you see here, and it's going to bring out family. We're going to bring out the key for that particular, we're going to bring out the value for that particular key. Alright, so that's how it works. What if you want to give a space between this? You can do that. Just add another plus. Okay, concatenate again, then put a quotation, then give a space. Let's run this again. You can now see a space, right? So you use this you always concatenate whenever you want to mix real variables with some line of code that you don't want to run, but you want them to be applied when running. Alright, so we've applied the for loop and we've used it in dictionaries also. We've also seen how to use get and everything there. Now let's see how our while loop works. When you want to use while, you have the for loop, we have the while loop. So for while loop, for instance, you can say while x is less than 10, okay, colon, what should happen? Print, open your bracket, x, right? Now, okay, let's do something. It's going to give me an error because I've not specified what exactly is less than 10. I have not specified. I've not defined my x yet. Alright, I've not defined my x. This is different from the for loop where you don't need to define. It simply refers to all the elements inside these inside the variable here. So but for the while loop, when you are doing something like this, you have to define what are you doing. So let's say x equals to 1, for instance. Let's run it. So do you see what's happening? Our code is going to continue running. It's going to continue running 1. Okay, this is infinity. It's going to continue running 1 because we've said x is 1. As long as x is less than 1, of course x is as long as x is less than 10, of course x is less than 10, that is 1 is less than 10. So continue printing x. That's what we are saying. As far as 1 is less than 10, continue printing x. So this is endless. So we have to put an end to that, and we are going to say after printing x, meaning this is 1, now check the condition. Is x is 1 less than 10? Yes. Now print 1. Then when it gets here, let's add a line of code. Let's say x plus 1 or x equals to x plus 1. So it's going to say 1. After printing 1, x is now 1. Then x is going to come here. It will now be 1 plus 1, that is 2. So this 2 will go back up here. Alright, it will go back to the condition statement, to our loop. Go back to the condition. It will check, is 2 less than 10? Yes, print 2. Then 2 plus 1, 3. It will update this x value. It will come here, is 3 less than 10? Yes, on and on and on and on like that. Okay, that's how it works. So let's say shift enter. Let's run this. Shift enter. So it's still trying to run that code, still trying to load. Okay, let's try this. Let's take it back. So waiting for our kernel to actually load. So we can actually restart our kernel and run everything again. Alright, you can see that now. So it's running everything again. You can always do that. You can run your codes again. Everything is going to restart and run again with your kernel. So what happened here was that you see everything is still under this while loop. So you see, from starting from 1 and it got to 9, and we saw that once when 9 was less than 10, it still printed that 9. It got here 9 plus 1, that is now 10. Then the 10 got here and it's checked the condition. Is 10 less than 10? No. So as soon as it's recorded false for us, okay, it printed out what? As soon as it recorded false, it broke off that loop and it did not continue printing. So that was what happened. So that is how your while loop works, your for loop. So basically this is everything that we should know for now. Then we're going to get to the libraries.